Now it is time to identify your audience. The audience you define will be who is eligible to see your ad. When marketing yourself as a real estate agent, choosing a highly relevant audience is so important. You want to increase the likelihood that people will not only interact with your ad, but they will perform the intended objective, simply said, give you a call. Now at this point, we have identified our objective, selected our images, added our content, and verified our placements. I've gone ahead and scrolled down further in the Ad Create tool to the Audience section. And you'll see the heading, Who do you want your ads to reach? That is in the top left. In this section, we are presented with a list of options. But for this video, we will focus on the first 5, location, age, gender, languages, and demographics. I will walk you through how to configure each one and provide some guidance into making the right choices. Now before we get started, I'll be referring to this graphic on the right side that looks like a fuel gauge. Vroom vroom. Sorry, my bad. Anyway, it's just under the heading Audience Definition. As we make our selections, Facebook will provide a detailed summary of the choices, indicating our potential reach and gauge how specific or broad our targeting is. Use this gauge as a guideline. As you advertise more and more, you will start to get a sense for how specific you need to be to generate the types of response you desire. You will also get new ideas based upon the data and results of your previous efforts. The only targeting option that is required is country targeting. Obviously, as a real estate agent, you want to get more specific than that, unless of course you could travel across the country at the same pace as Santa Claus. The audience will be the start of how you refine where these ads display. All the future targeting options you identify will be dependent upon this audience. So we'll start by identifying a location. It is here that we can include a country, state, city, or even a zip code. I want to use Armonk, New York for the location. So I will go ahead and type that into the locations field. And as we start typing, Facebook will be quick to provide a list of options that match our search criteria. Find the correct option and select it. Now, more specific options will override general ones. So at this point, we will only be serving ads to people in Armonk, New York. But it's actually a bit more detailed than that. We are technically serving this ad to people within a 25-mile radius of Armonk, as indicated by this plus 25 next to the city name. If you are planning on targeting people in other countries, you should know that targeting by city is not available worldwide. When you target each ad to smaller specific groups of people at one time, you will be able to customize your ad so it's more personalized and appealing to the audience you are trying to reach. In that case, let's adjust this location even further by clicking on a plus 25. You'll see that I get a new dialog box that includes multiple options. We can include only Armonk, within 10, 25, or 5-mile radius. It's also here you can apply some exclusion targeting. Let's say we want to prevent our ad from being displayed in Pleasantville, which is a city next to Armonk. I'll select Exclude Locations and then type Pleasantville. And just as we did before, we will select from the list. And then I'll choose Exclude. You can include a large number of cities or states or countries. They will work like OR statements. So if I had another city, say Bronxville, which is also a city near Armonk, my ad will now be shown to anyone in Armonk within 25 miles, excluding Pleasantville or Bronxville. Next up, you can identify an age, gender, or even a language. Now, if I'm trying to sell in Armonk, New York, I know that it is an expensive, family-oriented community. Therefore, I do not want to spend money advertising to young people. I'm going to target people ages 30 to 60. From my personal experience, I know that I have had more success working with women in this community than men because I have learned that they are the typical key decision makers on residential property in Armonk. So I will choose women for my gender selection, as I do not want to waste my advertising dollars on men who I have not had a good history of converting sales with. In language, I'd like to be sure that only English-speaking people see this ad, as that is the only language I speak fluently. So I'll need to make sure that I type in English. If you had another language you're comfortable with, say either Spanish, German, or something else, put that in. One last option in this first section is the ability to target a demographic. From the More Demographics dropdown, you can identify a wide array of optional categories. I hope you're sitting down for this one. This is where you're going to say to yourself, oh man, I'm going to rule the real estate world. How are these other dinosaurs who are not internet savvy even surviving? Browse these categories and then select one to see the targeting options available. It's amazing. Remember how I said RMONC was a community for families? Watch this. I could go into relationship status and click married, but I am not done. I can click more demographics. Let's go to life events. I'm going to choose newly engaged 6 months and maybe even recently moved. That could be a great demographic to go after to find new buyers. Honestly, it's going to feel like you're cheating. If you do this correctly, your advertising will be so targeted and get you so many leads that you will be asking yourself, is this even legal? Well, my answer is, it is today, so let it rip. Once you have selected a demographic, it will be included in your targeting. You could continue adding, or to remove anything, click on the X. You will see on the right-hand side a review of what we have just set up. And all the way at the bottom, Facebook is going to indicate our potential reach. It says here how many people match the criteria. Now, we have not done our interest or behaviors targeting yet. So we are going to expect that number to get smaller and smaller as we continue. Your audience is crucial to the success of your ad. To make the most of your advertising money, start with an audience that meets the profile of your ideal client. That will help to keep costs low and ensure you are successful. I would then begin to tweak my campaign to increase conversions until I found the winning combo, and then I would start to expand my audience to increase my reach. For example, my ideal client is in RMONC. However, people within a 25-mile area of RMONC may want to buy or list a house here too. But the reality is your ideal client is in RMONC. So start there, and as you get more comfortable, expand that reach to 5 miles, then 10 miles, and so on.